He felt the sweat dripping down his forehead across his pale nose. His brown hair was blown back by the wind flying across his face, his legs carrying him as fast as they could across the green grass. His black sneakers swished with each step as the grass was still wet from yesterday's rain. His brown and white plaid shirt was unbuttoned and rolled up his elbows and flew behind him like a cape as he ran. 6 men dressed in black suits pursued Tom across the field. He could hear the sound of their shoes slowly became soaked from the wet grass. They were running in 2 rows of 3. The man in the center of the first row had a faint purple aura surrounding him, and Tom knew that couldn't be good. They were about 200 feet behind him, but closing fast. Tom thought to himself, why the hell are they chasing me? What could I have possibly done to them? He continued to sprint across the field to where it began to turn to forest. Tom knew if he could keep going, he may be able to lose them among the dense brush of the forest. The squishing sounds began to turn to rustling as Tom started to run through fallen pine needles and leaves. Suddenly, Tom heard a high-pitched sound pierce his ears. A gunshot. He began to fear for his life, when suddenly a bullet dug into the ground about 5 feet to his left. Just then the ground burst open as a small explosion took place where the bullet entered the ground. Dirt, pine needles, and leaves sprung up from the ground as Tom was blown off his feet into a bush. Smoke clouded the place where Tom was just standing. The smoke stung his eyes and vision began to blur. He forced his mouth shut as the smoke began to sting the back of his throat. It felt like a jungle cat was scratching at the back of his throat as he forced himself not to calm. Dizzy and disoriented, Tom prayed they wouldn't find him. Despite the ringing in his ears, Tom managed to make out what one man was saying. In a deep, harsh voice he heard, "You idiot, we're trying to capture him, not kill him." Just then the same man grabbed the bolt-action rifle out of the man to his left hand and broke it in half across his knee. Tom heard the sound of snapping wood and shattering metal. Just then it hit him. These were no ordinary people he was dealing with. As the ring began to fade and his eyes began to clear, he felt a hand across his mouth and only heard the words, "Shh." His heart began racing faster. He could hear it pounding through his chest. A soft man's voice whispered in his ear, "I'm not going to hurt you. Just keep quiet." Considering he had no clue what this man was capable of, he felt it best to do what he said. He heard 6 footsteps pound past them in the forest as the pine needles rustled beneath their feet. The man with the purple aura shouted, "Split up," and they split up into 3 groups. As the forest diverged into 3 paths, they split up into groups of 2 as his men took a right, a left, and a straightforward path. The man with his hand across Tom's mouth. "They'll be gone in a second, just hold tight." Being completely overwhelmed by the situation, Tom blacked out. This startled the man with his hand across Tom's mouth, and he accidentally let go of Tom's head, and he began to fall. His head crashed down against the pine needles and leaves. The soldier who took the straightforward path, but the commander said, "Sir, do you hear that?" as Tom's head made a rather loud thud against the forest floor. As both turned around to see nothing behind them and gazed around for a bit. The man in the bush stayed absolutely still to be as silent as possible so they wouldn't find him. "Don't distract me like that, or the Lord will have your head." The soldier began shaking, and he said, "Sorry, sir. I thought I heard something behind us." Tom awoke with a shock. Thankfully the soldiers were too far away to hear him wake up. He turned around and asked, "Who are you, and what exactly do you want with me? Why are these men chasing me? Why am I so to them?" He looked at him with a wide gaze and said, "Tom, you are the one of legends. You can either destroy or save the world.